Hey, what's up guys? Everything Apple Pro here. The beast that is Apple will awaken in just 9 days. WWDC is fast approaching. We're going to be taking a look at iOS 14 Beta 1, along with a host of new Apple products. And I've got quite a bit of Apple news to cover in the last couple of weeks. It hasn't been too crazy, but there's a lot of info on iOS 14, the iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and even the iPhone 14. Yeah, we're already getting there. Also, wanted to say thank you for the beautiful reception. We've shipped out our frosted cases. Everyone that hasn't got a tracking will get one tonight for those, and we'll be all caught up to date on the frosted series. Rebel series starting to go out this week, and so far you guys are loving them. Thank you. We have taken over a year to craft them. It's our first gen product, but we're very proud of it. So thank you for the warm reception. We hope to do even better on Gen 2, and especially with our closed series case. All right, let's get into those leaks. Now let's start with some iPhone 12 stuff. So this glyph of an iPhone 12, or a straight edge design, which implies an iPhone 12, was found in a leaked build of iOS 14 by a new Twitter account, and they've shared a ton of new glyphs detailing a bunch of apps and icons, wallpapers coming to iOS 14. We'll cover those in a second, but this seems to imply that the iPhone 12 will have a flat edge design as rumored by many sources. Now Max Weinbach gives us an update on the 120 Hz refresh rate display situation. He's saying there's currently a battle between the marketing and engineering teams. Marketing wants it to happen, but the engineers are saying it'll delay the iPhone, the 12 Pros anyways, at least until October or November if they were to make it happen. The good news is it passed the first round of hardware tests. There will be many more for it to pass in order for this to be approved, but things are looking okay. This feature just might result in a little delay if they were to add it. Twitter leaker Fudge has confirmed the iPhone 12 naming scheme as well as the family numbers, and they look in line with what John Prosser has shared with us earlier. iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Max, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max. The new Twitter leaker Apple Rumors Leaks, very original name, he's shared more info on the iPhone 12, starting with Face ID. He's saying that it will be greatly improved where it will work in front of you if the iPhone 12 is laying flat on a table. Previously, Max Weinbach has reported that Apple would be improving Face ID on this year's iPhone. This could be in line with that. And this Twitter leaker does confirm John Prosser's pricing details on the iPhone 12 lineup, which is very fair. It's a bit shocking even how low the prices are, especially when you compare them to what the Galaxy S20 lineup started at. It's shocking. It's great that Apple's keeping the prices fairly affordable with all this new tech being shoved inside. Now, Digitimes is reporting that the iPhone 12 is entering volume production in July, which is about a month behind schedule, but it could mean that if Apple were to announce these sometime in September, you would be able to buy the iPhone 12 non-Pro models and get them in September, potentially early October, based on this production scheduling. Now, it doesn't mean that they wouldn't sell out, but Apple would have a small amount available in September. Now, Chinese display maker BOE, which shared some of the display orders for this year's iPhone 12 models, has failed to produce any displays, which goes to show you why Apple keeps choosing Samsung over and over, because they deliver. Now I can go on and on here, but the consensus is from multiple sources that the iPhone 12 Pros will be considerably delayed. The iPhone 12s may not be delayed. They might be just a little, but if Apple makes some production magic happen, those could be available in small numbers in September, possibly early October. And now for some far out 2021 iPhone 13 leaks by Mac Takara. So they're saying some Alibaba sources gave them info on this iPhone, and it's different than anything we heard that Apple would be working on. So take this one with a massive grain of salt. But essentially they're saying a 5.5-inch iPhone with an all-screen display, even slimmer bezels than this year's iPhone 12s, USB-C will be releasing. And this is supposedly going to have a new cross orientation camera on the rear, which just looks terrible when we rendered it. I'd say this is absolute fluff, nothing true to this, but hey, we still have a year for this phone to materialize. There may be some truth to it. Unlikely though. We've heard that Apple would be going straight to the smart connector. USB-C should not be part of Apple's iPhone product lineup at all. Now, an all-screen iPhone may not be as outlandish and crazy as you think. It could be possible as soon as 2021. Visionox is now ready to mass produce under-the-screen camera sensors, which work using hundreds of technology cobbled together to produce clear images beneath an organic LED display. It's pretty amazing science, and whether or not it'll be viable in to Apple's standards in 2021. We'll see, but they're saying as soon as Q1 2021, this tech could be more prevalent in more smartphones. Meanwhile, Twitter leaker Love to Dream shared this full screen fingerprint. If Apple were to reintroduce Touch ID into an iPhone, you better betcha it would be done grandiose and on a full screen scale. Also, the outlandish Makatakara report mentions that they're considering a camera on the bottom of the screen. So it would be beneath the display, but on the bottom. I don't know what purpose this would serve, but interesting. And according to the other Twitter leaker, Apple is once again considering black AirPods. This could potentially be for an AirPods Pro 2 refresh that we've been hearing about. He's saying that the possibility of that happening is 80%. Now, it's not the first time we've heard about this rumor. Max Weinbach even reported on it, but it sort of dissolved, and the sentiment was that Apple doesn't need black AirPods. They like the brand image with the white AirPods. They're very distinct, so they don't need that color to sell more. But this is interesting because it ties in with a separate rumor that the Apple Pencil, potentially the third version, will be coming in a black color. Now, the same Twitter leaker is saying that before that were to happen, Apple would need to release black AirPods, making that even more interesting. So Apple could be planning some sort of black color refresh for many of their popular accessories. And it gets even more interesting with the AirPod leaks. So Apple could be working on a non-retail version of AirPods, which they bundle with iPhones starting in 2021. Shared by a separate Twitter leaker, this is the design we're seeing. They seem to be a cross between EarPods and first-gen AirPods. And now that we know EarPods will no longer be included with iPhones, this could be a ploy to eventually reintroduce these and give you an even better value. They do look pretty cheap, and understandably they wouldn't be a complete replacement to AirPods. More of like a beta product of AirPods 0.5 release, so they entice you to get the full release. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll put them in, you'll be very comfortable, you'll like the idea of wearing and using AirPods if you haven't before, thus getting you to purchase the actual product. TSMC is reportedly on track to release 3nm chips in 2022. It blows my mind thinking about miniaturization on that scale, but we're getting there. This year's iPhone will be the first with 5nm, then next year will likely be 5nm refined or potentially the same node, then in 2022 an even smaller nanometer architecture. And some iOS 13 stuff. So iOS 13.6 Beta 2 has been pushed out. It's a follow-up to 13.5.5 Beta 1, which was a patch for the uncovered jailbreak. iOS 13.6 will be the first version of a 0.6 update for iOS. There are a couple new features inside. So first off, Apple News Plus will have a new audio section where you can hear audio summaries of your daily news. And these will be subscription-based, but you can hear small excerpts if you don't have a subscription. iOS 13.6 will also save your positioning in the news article, and there's a new toggle that'll allow you to just download iOS updates without automatically updating to them. Also, code in iOS 13.6 suggests that Apple is working on a subscription bundle, likely bundling Apple TV, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and of course Apple News Plus. So there's been a massive dump of iOS 14 glyphs, icons, wallpapers, potentially features, device glyphs. There's too much to share here, but I'd recommend going through this account. It's quite interesting, fascinating stuff. You really can't say how much of this will end up in the final version, but this has most definitely been pulled from a leaked build of iOS 14. Very fascinating stuff. There is some potential new Apple Watch 6 wallpapers here, variations from the iOS 13 wallpapers, which they look very similar to. CarPlay will have some custom backgrounds in iOS 14. Again, slight variations in the colors here from iOS 13 wallpapers. And 9to5Mac is reporting that within Safari on iOS 14, there will be a built-in translator, which will use the Neural Engine, meaning you don't need internet for it to instantly translate. It'll be much faster, and that Apple Pencil will be natively supported in Safari on iOS 14. At WWDC, Mark Gurman reports that Apple intends to announce its plans to switch over to ARM on the Mac line. We're likely to see an ARM processor that's 5nm and potentially could be first revealed in a 12-inch MacBook. Sonny Dixon reports we'll be seeing a new iMac at WWDC inspired by the iPad Pro design, so think sleek here, and some iPad stuff. Love to Dream is reporting that we'll be seeing an iPad refresh for the A14X iPad with the X55 5G modem and mini LED sometime in Q1 or Q2 of 2021. Also, the iPad Air 4 will share a chassis with the iPad 10.8-inch. This one will have a home button and the Apple A14 processor. Also, Makatakara is reporting that this new iPad Air 4 model may have USB-C in the same chassis. So Apple could be keeping Lightning exclusive only on the mini line, and then all the other iPads are going to USB-C. The iPad Air 4 may also support the Apple Pencil 2, with the Apple Pencil 3 being rumored for a 2021 launch. And according to Love to Dream, we could soon see the Magic Keyboard arrive on even more iPads, not exclusively on the Pro models. And 9to5Mac has found evidence in iOS 13.6 that Apple is adding shortcuts for changing the screen brightness on iPadOS using the Magic Keyboard. All right, guys, that's the latest. Stay tuned for more info. WWDC in just 9 days. So excited. Peace.